Oh, and if we die, Harrow Court gets sadder.
The building's not the only thing that's going to get more upset if we die.
Hello, fellow geeks! Welcome to Season 2 of Stolen Fate. Here's a quick recap of Season 1, in case you need a reminder. Jack is a changeling rogue with a tragic backstory who wants to off his mom because she's a literal hag who's evil and scary. So he hires Krunk, a fleshwarp magus and chosen follower of Desna, to help him out. After they fail to kill Jack's mother, they meet a weird puppet thaumaturge named Gingham. They realize they all have these strange Harrow cards that belong to the same magical deck. Turns out the cards lead to a pocket dimension called Harrow Court, which becomes the new home base for Jack, Krunk, and Gingham. They get roped into hunting down more cards to try to complete the deck and get all kinds of new boons along the way. But turns out there are some dangerous folks out there who also want the cards. The heroes track down one of the main baddies who's been after them and handle the problem quite thoroughly. Then, just when they think it's vacation time, Jack discovers his mom's still after him, Gingham discovers that Jack is their half-brother, and Harrow Court comes under attack. Got all that? Good. Now let's roll.
Good evening, fellow geeks. Welcome back to our second season of Stolen Fate. We're back at the action in Harrow Court with Jack the Rogue, Krunk the Magus, and Gingham the Thaumaturge, plus some extra stuff after the end of the last season. So we're going to jump right back into the adventure, but before we do so, we want to talk about some cool new character art that we have. Tori, would you like to give some credit to the artist?
Oh, absolutely. Our wonderful artist was Christiana Leone. I'm not 100% sure how to say her last name, but she is amazing. We have worked with her in the past, and she always does incredible art. As you can see, this is Jack, and I am in love with his portrait. If you want some art of your own, she does take commissions, and you can find her on Instagram at CRUCCHAN. So definitely go look her up. This is Jack. He's amazing. He has his green eye and that roguish grin that just charms everybody, charms the pants right off of everybody.
Looks so good. The most dramatic change this season is the new shiny Gingham.
Yes.
There's a much more spooky, a lot more skeletal.
In case anyone was
Exactly.
picturing a cute, adorable little doll, no.
This is
I
what
like
I've been
to-
picturing.
Yeah, I like to call it comic book accurate.
Yes, Katie would still say this.
Now
is cute.
everyone
Let's
is
be
like,
real.
oh, that's why Krunk is convinced that Gingham is some sort of evil creature.
This is Gingham through Krunk's lens.
Yeah.
It's very
Speaking
cute.
of Krunk, here's the new Krunk 2.0.
Krunky boy.
He's a
Look
baby.
at that handsome gentleman.
Look how handsome he's an awkward little lad man, and I'm so impressed with how he turned out. I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly how he looks. That's always how he looked.
Yeah, I think she nailed his facial expression. His like, I'm trying to be friendly, but I'm terrifying.
I know that
Do
I
you think sometimes he smiles at people and they're like, vampire, and they try to kill him?
I think there's a lot of reasons why
Probably.
people try and kill him.
Poor guy.
I don't think
Yeah.
teeth is the first thing they notice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's true. There's a lot to look at with Krunk there. So there's our brand new character art. You guys are also accompanied by Shadow currently, and not impressive art, but I did this in Hero Forge all by myself.
Yay!
So go me. There's Shadow.
Hey, Hero Forge is a lot of fun too.
It is a lot of fun. All right, yeah. So there's our party. And with that, I think we're ready to jump right back into the emotional trauma that we left last time. So when we last left off, you guys heard trumpets bellowing on the horizon. You guys are currently in the desert by the fortune teller's tent near the carnival because you were getting some ominous and bright fortunes, a little mix of both. And then there was just loud explosions and quakes and bellowing trumpets from your trumpet epitome, which you guys know is signaling that there is danger to Harrow Court, and it is sounding the alarm. And you guys can see your armies of paladins just kind of rushing towards your center castle in Harrow Court. Why don't you guys go ahead and make me some perceptions? Let's get a dice roll out of the way.
Oh boy, is this blind?
Nah, we can do these ones public.
Is this vision based?
This is vision based.
Excellent.
By the way, I have dark vision.
You do? We're twins now?
Always had dark vision.
Oh, okay.
We've
38.
always been twins.
Always been twins. We kind of have been. We've always had the mismatched eyes
Huh?
and dark vision.
And that roguish charm.
And, well...
Right?
Jack got a 38. Krunk 24. Gingham 26.
Okay, fantastic. That's enough for all of you. So, Jack, you got the 36?
Got a 38. Thank you very much.
38. Okay, Jack's gonna get a little bonus. But all of you guys noticed this very obvious, gigantic thing way to the south. So you guys are up in the desert, right? Towering way taller than your castle in Harrow Court. You guys see this monstrosity construction, strange device that looks like this. Em, why don't you go ahead and give us the first description here? Tell us what this thing looks like.
Okay. This looks like a construct formed of spindly many legs, like a spider. Its body is a haphazard collection of gears and circles that are very sharp. There's two arms that branch off, like just basically going straight up, and they hold hammer axes. It's like a hammer on one side and an axe on the other. And then right between the arms is a floating white card covered in swirling pink magic. And that pink magic is reflected onto the hammer sides of the hammer axes. It's horrific.
Does it look like it's a card at the center, Chase? Or
It
like
is a glowing
portal?
rectangle. It's definitely
Oh.
way too large for a typical Harrow card. Like, this thing is ginormous. This thing is bigger than your castle. This is some sort of like gigantic war machine of some
It's
sort.
larger than the mountains surrounding us.
Yep.
I want to know how low we'd have to roll to miss that.
So it's not
Check.
behind the mountains. Let me clarify. It's not bigger than the mountains, but it's like atop the mountains to the south, standing above everything, and it's huge. So
The big old
you-
kaiju coming for our castle. Ooh.
yeah, so you see like little spider legs crawling this thing across the mountain. And I mean, that's all that you really see. Now, all of you will also notice as this thing comes crawling around, there is like this weird fleshy leather that starts to form around the glowing pink. So that glow starts to slowly fade and get replaced with like a cocoon looking thing, kind of like a big belly around it. Now, Jack, you notice that before that leather forms, there are little subtle streaks of lightning that launch off of this thing. One launches to the north of you guys. It goes overhead and crashes to the northern edge of the desert by the mountains to the north. And another lightning bolt goes crashing to the west into the swamps, like the swamp and the forest border. You notice those.
Wait,
and
there's only two?
only two.
Okay. Did they look like epitome little trails or like lightning?
They looked like actual lightning. It didn't make big, loud, crashing thunder, but you saw like little flashes, like heat lightning, just
Okay.
jump across the land. Then this leathery cocoon forms around the pink glowing portion. And then you guys see a swarm of flying creatures start heading towards the castle from behind this thing. Just an army of them go flying overhead. You guys will recognize these. You've dealt with them before. They are Vrox, the demonic vulture type creatures with the leathery red bodies and the vulture like heads and the sharp claws. There are thousands of them. Like, there is a lot. And then after those things start flying off towards Harrow Court, a big magical force field of sorts forms around this large construction, and 3 stone obelisks with glowing runes come towering up, making like a triangle around the magical barrier. Lot to take in, but that's what you guys immediately see as notable sights.
Okay. Is that all?
Yeah, that's it.
What do we see in the way of Harrow Court defenses? Obviously, the paladins are running around. Is anything else happening?
Yeah, so you guys are a little ways away from the Harrow Court castle currently. There's some newly formed battlements around it from the trumpet epitome, and you can see a bunch of your paladins are like lining the battlements with bows, getting ready to defend. And I mean, you guys have a small army ready to defend Harrow Court alongside you. As you guys are taking in these sights, you hear a familiar voice behind you, which is your good old buddy pal Guy. He's in his very early form of Varnev the Butcher. He appears behind all of you, battle axe ready to go. Bosses, what are you doing? We're under attack. Desert's not a very defensible position. I'd recommend blinking yourselves back to your rooms. Get to the castle.
Okay, what is that? Jack points to the huge construct in the distance.
You got the higher payroll. I expected you to know. Listen, the archways are glowing within Harrow Court. That means we're getting attacked by some card wielders. You might want to take a look at those.
I'm on my way, and I'm gonna I'm gonna think of my room.
Okay, yeah, you blink back to your room, Krunk. I don't get paid enough for this. And he's gonna go rushing back towards Harrow Court.
Okay.
On foot. He doesn't blink for some reason.
Jack will set Gingham down and say, I guess I'll see you over there, and think to his room.
Shadow's gonna put a hand on Gingham's shoulder. I think you can take me back with you.
Oh, let's try it. Gingham will think them and Shadow back to their room.
Excellent. Yeah, you blink and Shadow is back in your room with you as well. All of you guys are back in the castle. What are you guys doing?
Running out of my room.
Also
Excellent.
already in the hall, just charging
Yeah.
towards. He wants to see which cards are coming after us. So he's gonna head to the arches.
Okay. You guys assembling in the archway room, the courtyard?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
also going to yell for Willem. I don't know if he's here yet or not, but
He's not yet. He was
okay.
gonna come take a visit, but you guys didn't get him set up yet.
Okay.
All right.
Wait,
Let's do... Oh, yes.
notably, Gingham left their door open.
Okay. Excellent. Your door's open. Shadow's gonna follow you. He's got his bow ready, and he looks like he's armed and ready to help. So, all right, let's do some game talk for a little bit, all right? Because we've got some interesting mechanics here. So, you guys are currently defending Harrow Court. I'm just gonna let you guys know this is an extremely dangerous section here. So keep in mind that during this encounter, there's some unique mechanics that are in play. Now, Harrow Court can be lost here, and you guys have things called defense points. And if your defense points are ever brought negative, you have lost Harrow Court, and you guys are going to be forced out. Now, you guys have a base of 9 defense points. But because you have the paladins epitomized, you get 2 extra. And because you have the trumpet epitomized, you have 2 extra. So you guys are at 13 defense points. Who wants to track defense points for me?
I can do that. I was just grabbing some paper to write this down.
Now, as we are dealing with defenses in Harrow Court, there is a lot of stuff that is going to be happening here, and we are going to track things in battle rounds. And a battle round is basically you guys are going to make some sort of decision of, we're going to go deal with this problem. Dealing with a problem takes a battle round. After every battle round, you lose a defense point. And then there is various other ways you can lose defense points, but you will always lose one at the end of a battle round. So that's not a combat round, but it's like dealing with a problem takes a battle round. Between a battle round, you are allowed to do a 10-minute rest without losing a point. But if you do more than a 10-minute rest for every additional 10 minutes, you'll lose a defensive point. You guys have your paladins epitomized. Now, in addition to giving you 2 extra defensive points, they have an extra perk. You guys have 3 units of paladins that are basically at your command. So they travel together in groups. So you can have paladins at 3 different locations at a time. Now, paladins can help possibly prevent the loss of battle points if you guys are, the loss of defense points if you're not at a location that you know there's a problem. Or if you send them to an encounter with you, they can greatly ease an encounter. And also, if you guys ever have paladins at a location, you guys gain an action that you can take on your turn to do a retreat where you can basically have the paladins fill in and protect you while you guys remove yourself from the encounter.
I don't think that's a word in Krunk's vocabulary.
Yeah.
We fight until we die.
You guys are in the archway room, right? Through one of the archways, you can see that it is the card, the Demon's Lantern. And through that archway, you recognize Harrow Court's swamps. And through the swamps, you can see a couple of interesting characters. Actually, a lot more than a couple, but you basically see a small army through this archway with some notable characters. So you see this woman who is standing up on the highest point of the swamp with her arms stretched up to the sky, casting some sort of spell or ritual. So, Tori, why don't you take this description?
Yeah, she's cute. Maybe we could just be friends with her.
She's probably definitely just a friend.
She's smoking.
She appears to be fiendish in nature. I believe she definitely has that little devil's tail. She's got some wings, some small wings, and some horns on her head. She has long black hair and some very intricate face makeup, possibly tattoos. It's hard to tell. She's got a lot of body art all down her arms and her legs and her chest, just like swirling patterns and dots. She's got a little hand crossbow in one hand, and in the other she's holding a card of some kind with...
And those are currently sheathed on her belt, but you would see both for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
In fact, you can see that card is the Demon's Lantern.
Ah, okay. She's got herself a card. And despite the circumstances, in this art at least, she looks kind of friendly. So who knows?
Yeah.
Like
she
her
probably
pink
is.
wings.
Now, Gingham.
She probably is. She's an ally. She's here to help.
You see something unique, Gingham, when you're looking through these portals. Your eyes flash blue, and you see a flaming, cursive start writing out of nowhere above this woman's head, and it spells out Fate's Prophet.
Fate's Prophet.
What are you doing?
It says right above her head.
You guys don't see that. Just Gingham does. All right, and then also, standing next to her, he appears to be proffering and almost worshiping at her feet. You guys see this character, Katie.
Oh no!
Now Gingham sees a flaming cursive above this individual's head that says Vorvok.
Oh, Vorvok.
And why don't you tell us what Vorvok looks like?
So this looks like a frog slept in a crystal cave and then became the crystals and got really jacked with the crystals too. So there's just jagged crystally rocks down its back. It's got just sharp teeth, angry eyes. It just really looks like a jacked frog.
It's like a crystal ape frog.
There you go, crystal ape frog. It's the frog and ape's baby. I hate that. It's cute though.
It's
Excellent.
called Chungus Toadman.
The cursive above its head just crosses out. Chungus Toadman, the corrected title.
Oh wait, sorry, I pronounced it wrong.
And then now, surrounding these individuals, you see them moving in like a defensive line. It looks like they're making a circle around these people. They're like in a combat stance, though. They're not worshiping. You see hundreds of humanoids that look like this. And then we're going to go back to you. What are these humanoids? Give us the vibe.
Picture warriors that have really that whose armor looks like pajamas. They've got glowing purple eyes. The dude in the front has like a long staff, and there's like, it looks like they're all casting a spell together because it's like big and boofy, and it's connecting to all of their hands. It looks like they're actually powering up the person in the front. Am I right, Chase?
Yeah, that is pretty accurate.
But it's like super basic armor. It's just like shirts, tunic, cloak.
They've got like culty vibes.
Kinda.
It's giving
Like
cult.
barbarian culty
It's
vibes.
giving cult.
Mhm.
It's giving cult. Fantastic. All right, that's what you guys see in the swamp through that archway. Through the other archway, you guys can see that the card being listed is the Uprising. And you guys see just at the base of the mountain, walking into the center of the desert very calmly, is this very large figure. Now, Gingham, you see a name right in cursive above this individual's head, and it spells out Torgral.
Torgral.
Tori, I think it's your turn to describe Torgral.
Oh, I was describing this thing earlier with you, Chase.
Yep,
What did
now
you
you get
say?
it.
It looks like it's straight out of Diablo. That's what it really does.
Yeah.
It looks like a bug, like a beetle gargoyle monster devil thing. It's got big brown leathery wings. It's got 4 arms with sharp clawed hands on the end of it. It does have legs, though the legs are a lot skinnier than its like bulbous body. And then its face is just like all shadowy, and it's got a big gaping mouth and glowing eyes, and its eyes and mouth are,
Jack-o'-lantern style.
yeah, it's like glowing with this like inner kind of greenish yellowish light, and then it's got 2 great big black horns.
Excellent.
This is Chungus Flyman.
Oh.
I guess this is important as well since we're on like a hex map. But so size reference, Fate's Prophet, the lovely looking fiendish lady, she is just like human size. Vorvok and Torgral, these 2 are like horse sized. Like they're pretty big, but not like gargantuan big beasts.
Whoa. Well, all I heard right there is that lady is sized for Krunk.
Because she's human sized?
Oh, I thought you said horse.
No, the other, so the big demon.
Yeah,
and
you want the
Vorvok.
frog? You want the frog or the
I don't.
flyman? Those are sized for Krunk.
Yeah.
Vorvok.
Hey.
Now, Torgral is just casually walking through the desert by himself. But he, as you guys are watching him, does a big battle cry to the sky and then digs his 4 arms into the sand. And as he does that, a bunch of creatures just start clawing their way out of the sand, and they look like this. And there's probably like about 50 of these things that rise out of the ground. Katie, why don't you tell us what these look like?
Take any envisioned level of Dante's Inferno with just beasts and creatures crawling out, and that's what we have here. There's like some kind of demon thing crawling out the top with the longest tongue you've ever seen, multiple horns. There's just a lot of those. It's hell creatures rising from the grave.
All right, there we go. There you have it. So that is what you guys are dealing with that you know of at this point. We have a whole slew of knowledge checks we can make if you guys want to start rolling on some things. So what kind of questions do you have about what you're seeing?
What's going on? Who are these people?
Who are you? I would like to knowledge every single one of those names.
I would like to knowledge what these creatures are.
Excellent.
Knowledge if Fate's prophet is single.
So let's see.
I got you.
You guys already know what the rocks are. They're the ones that were doing the lightning dance. But remember, you guys fought about 4 of them, and this is like a lot.
A lot of dancing.
10 to 12,000.
Yeah. It's probably well over 1,000 rocks here. All right, now let's start with the swamp. So who wants to roll on Miss Fate's prophet? The check on this one is going to be religion.
Religion, here we go.
Okay, yeah.
No! Did you see it go 22, 18, 2? That was bull. It's a total of 20.
Wow, 40 from Jack.
Krunk is gorgeous.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
funny.
Krunk is just smitten instantly. He's like, I don't care what she is.
You know what?
I'm in love.
That's true. That's true. I was mad because I'm like, I'm a champion of Desna. How do I not know? And it's because she's too hot. That's why.
Yep. All right. So Krunk, not Krunk. Krunk, you're awestruck because you got a crit success, Gingham, and Jack, you got a success. Now, Miss Fate's prophet is clearly a succubus. And succubi are manifestations of the sin of destructive lust. And they're the most attractive of all demons, as befits their role in seducing mortals to fall to sin. The concept of gender is fluid to a succubus, as they can adopt countless humanoid forms of any gender to aid their goals. Most succubi have a feminine true form. Incubi, which usually have a masculine true form, are a different kind of demon. But regardless of gender, a lust demon is supernaturally beautiful or handsome, but with curving horns, bat wings, sharp claws, and a sinuous tail. When disguised as a mortal humanoid on the material plane, a succubus whispers into the ears of mortals, urging them to pursue their darkest and most destructive desires, and pushing them into depravity using magic only if persuasion fails. While mortals often fixate on a succubus's application of sexual lust, these demons can easily exploit lust for power, knowledge, fame, or any other desire as easily as more carnal appetites. Their abilities to infiltrate societies make them excellent spies, assassins, and political saboteurs as well. Ultimately, the succubus enjoys all means of upending mortal culture. Yeah, so that's what we've got for succubi. So some things to watch out for succubi. They can dominate you with charm effects. They can, when they are in close quarters with you, they can seduce you into an embrace and kiss you, and it is very deadly. And then they're also usually pretty agile and fierce combatants otherwise.
And what's it
Krunk's like,
weak to?
How deadly of a smooch are we talking?
Like, how deadly?
Like
Is it one worth dying for?
So, weaknesses, Gingham. So they are weak to cold iron and holy, both by 15. So they are very weak to those. And they also have a very special kind of weakness called rejection vulnerability. So they have like supernatural persuasions, not necessarily like spells. If you save against one of those as a free action, you can use a diplomacy or intimidate to try to give them a severe rejection, which can give them persistent mental damage.
wow, that's hilarious.
I said I know.
No means no.
Now, Gingham, I guess with your nat 20, I'll also give you a little bit extra that the tattoos and the attire looks like this particular succubi is in some sort of military organization, though not one that you recognize.
Okay.
And it looks like she is high ranking.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If we just like wrapped her up in an extra big blankie, do you think like her seduction tactics just won't work anymore because we can't see her anymore?
You know, some of them probably wouldn't.
Krunk's like, my dear lady, we just
This is
cover you up a
also an
little.
important thing. So The tattoos down her arm, Gingham, I'll also let you notice those tattoos on her arm match the runes on one of those large pillars around the force field covering the big war machine. There's that out of the way. Any other rolls you guys want to make on the swamp?
Yeah, on Vorvok.
Vorvok, excellent. Yep. Okay, that's gonna also be a religion.
36 for my religion.
36, excellent. Okay, that's gonna be a crit success for you, Krunk.
That's only a 28 for Jack.
All right, still a success for you, Jack, and a crit success for you, Gingham. So here's about Vorvok. Now, Vorvok is a Hezru demon, and Hezrus dwell in the vast and endless abyssal swamps, mires, and waterways, and are equally at home on land as they are in water. A Hezru's presence has an obvious effect on nearby flora and water, causing plant life to twist and knot and infusing water with a foul odor and brackish taste. Signs much easier to spot on the material plane than in the abyss. Long exposure to this corruption can cause vile transformations and hideous mutations, and entire miserable communities of corrupted creatures sometimes rise in swamplands where a Hezru dwells. Hezrus themselves prefer simple pleasures, and they often waste their considerable intellect in the pursuit of comfortable places to slumber, squealing meals to eat, or objects of beauty to deface. They do not seek out cults to fawn over them, but they will not turn away from those who seek to worship on their own. Hezrus form from the souls of those who abused and polluted the environments, or neighbors, either through the introduction of toxins to the region or the insidious spread of drugs and poisons through a society. Now, because you guys got a crit success on both of these people, I'll give you the tidbit that you can tell that whatever this spell is the succubus is casting with him worshiping, you figure is probably some sort of ritual to corrupt the land with the Hezru's power. Weakness, cold iron and holy, just like the succubus, but by 10 for this one. And then the Hezru has a special vulnerability as well, which is purity vulnerability. So any effects that can cure any sort of poison or disease will cause large amounts of mental damage to a Hezru.
That's pretty cool. Weren't the ghostly bro dudes here as well? The barbarian pajama boys? Yeah.
Yeah, these fellows here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and that'll be a religion as well.
So much religion.
Yep.
Whoa, there it is.
It's
Dang.
here! Net 20!
Wow.
Dang! Yeah, so that's going to be a fail for Gingham, a success for Jack, and a crit success for Krunk.
Wow.
All right, this is indeed a type of cult known as a rancorous priesthood. They are followers of Rovagug, who must usually conceal their devotion to the Ro Beast, hiding in remote cave complexes or abandoned ruins, but they emerge from these strongholds when they sense weakness, gathering together in a destructive, homicidal mob to hunt down high-ranking priests of rival deities or slaughter entire towns. Alternatively, if their hidden bolt hole is compromised, a mob of Rovagug's faithful might emerge, not hoping to save themselves, but intent on only taking their enemies with them as they die. So a rancorous priesthood is made of intelligent individuals that have their own trainings, but they do tend to lean towards evil clerics and proficient spellcasters. Now, mechanically, with your knowledge, this is a troop. In fact, it's several troops. So these are going to be treated sort of like humanoid swarms. So they're going to have damage thresholds that will make them weaker if you cross into them. They will be resistant to single target effects and weak to area effects.
Okay, good to know.
Can you remind me, Tori, what kind of god Rovagug is?
Rovagug is the deity. Let's see here. Edicts are destroy all things and free Rovagug from his prison.
Oh.
He's also known as the Rough Beast.
Oh, okay. That's all.
And he
That's
is the god of destruction, disaster, and wrath.
Isn't he like Sarenrae's brother or something?
I don't know off the top of my head, but that would be
Okay.
pretty
That's some
funny.
deep lore.
Or it's like
That is
Shaylin's
some
brother.
deeper- Let's see. I think it has. Does it have like relations? We'll figure it out. Probably though.
Okay. Oh, I had another question. What was it?
I'm just gonna
yeah. Are the little snakes in the swamp doing anything that we can see in the archway, or are they not anywhere to be?
So you can see them snipping at some of the priesthood, but it actually looks like the snakes are getting very rapidly killed.
Oh,
The little fluffer
I mean, I
guys.
feel a little bad because they're cute, but also they were
Oh, they're
kind of
cute.
annoying.
Well, how are you gonna get your poison?
Yeah.
That's
You're
true,
free
but I
poison.
also don't want to save for fluffitis every time I get poison in the swamp. So Jack has mixed feelings overall about the swamp being overrun. He might be like, you know what? She's hot. She can just keep the swamp. Like, we didn't
We don't
like the
even like
swamp
it.
anyway. Yeah, just that's fine. You can hang out there.
Gingham's like, what the fuck?
Okay.
What about people with dubious knowledge? Like, what more information would someone with?
Ooh, what more about the rancorous priesthood with somebody with dubious knowledge get? You know what? I will tell you a couple of spells that is their signature spells. It might either be a destructive aura that removes resistances and immunities, or it might be phantasmal killer.
Ooh, spells.
Any questions on the desert?
Desert.
Oh, yes, on the desert. I want to know what those guys are.
Torgl.
Torgral. This gentleman here. All right, for him, we're gonna need some religion checks. I think y'all are some worshippers.
That
27?
is-
30?
Oh, yeah, that was weird. I saw it show up for 20. I got
None
27.
of you have any idea what this is, but Gingham, clearly a demon, and this might be either a demon of destruction or a demon of murderous violence. You're not sure which one.
Could I use a hero point and re-roll that? I feel like having some knowledge on these dudes is gonna be really important.
For sure, everybody has one hero point.
Wait, I have
What if I rolled one over from last season?
It's wiped. This is season 2.
Dang it, they don't roll over season to season.
I don't think I want to use it then.
I'm JK. You can roll them over.
Okay.
Whoa, that's not good, Krunk.
Wait.
Oh.
Can I do this as a reaction to Krunk's thing and do Lore Master's Etude? So Krunk roll again, take the better result.
Awesome.
Yep.
What? Okay, so my best result 29 plus 2, 31.
31, you still have no idea what this thing is.
Dang. Okay, that's fine.
It looks big and dangerous, though. All right, I'll let everybody make a perception check on this guy as well.
38.
I'm not looking pointedly.
33
All right,
for Jack.
Krunk's the only one who notices this, but Krunk, as you're looking at this guy through the archway, his veins seem to like periodically pulse with like a red heat, and as his veins burn, so does it seems to appear some markings down his arm, and the markings seem to match another one of those obelisks over the large force field.
Interesting.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah.
A pillar
I'll
pattern?
describe it to you guys.
Mhm.
You guys see that?
Oh, it's
The
like
same color.
it's like this one with the tattoos on their arms.
All right, and then
What about his army?
His army. Go ahead and let's roll me religion on
Religion.
that.
We knew.
Say it
we
with
all
me.
knew.
Love religion.
28.
28. Not enough for you, Krunk.
34 for
Gosh.
Jack.
34. Not enough for you, Jack.
Man.
I will say you're in hero point range.
All
We can just
right.
leave
I
that
feel like
region a mystery.
we can't go totally blind into that one. I'll use a hero point. I had one to spare.
All right, that's a success with your 36. If you get a crit
Well,
success,
yeah,
though.
I'll reroll and see. So that's 37 total.
37. So still a success. This is a demonic rabble. So this is another troop. The typical demon throng of a demonic rabble consists of a chaotic mix of less powerful demons, typically abracondalus, dretches, and quasits, with a few brimrocks, babaus, and other more powerful demons swept up in the main.
Not writing those down, just letting you know.
This tangled mess of different creatures makes coordinated tactics untenable, but while individual demons in the throng might not be able to fully utilize their abilities, the throng itself makes up for these deficiencies with dangerous options of its own. So some things that are dangerous about these is, unlike other troops, they can swarm over you like a swarm. And then they can also hurl large amounts of debris. They can like compact sand and throw chunks of sharp glass at you. So they're pretty dangerous from a distance.
Okay.
And then their special weaknesses are, of course, their troops, so area damage, and then also cold iron and holy damage.
Okay.
All right, that's it for the desert. How about the big war machine?
Wait, can I give a little flavor to my hero point?
Yeah,
so
please
it's not
do.
just like, I used a hero point.
Yeah, I would love some flavor.
We're all staring at this archway, just like, demons of some kind. I don't know, coming up blank. And Jack really concentrates, and he hears the hag voice whisper in his mind, because his silent hag card gives him a bonus to knowledge checks, and in a demonic language, because he does speak that. He just hears a spouting off of what all of these swarming demons are.
Excellent. I love that. Super cool. All right. Any questions about the South?
What
That's
is it?
What is it?
Yeah, the construct, right?
That is going to be an arcana or a craft or an esoteric lore.
I can do an arcana.
I might do craft on this. It's actually the better bonus.
Oh no, Krunk.
Oh, Krunk.
I'll try an arcana.
That's a giant spider.
Made of metal cogs.
It's weaving an egg sack.
Oh.
I hate that.
Okay, 40 from Jack.
Oh, that was on the 20.
That was a 1 from Krunk, a 2 from Gingham, and a 19 from Jack.
I'm doing what I can.
Jack, do you have any like applicable lores for constructs?
No.
All right, so you are within hero point range again.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you have another one, but
I have one more, but it's a little scary to me to use it. Oh my gosh, but this is like the big boss thing.
This is the biggest baddie of them all.
Fine. You guys better back me up in combat, okay?
As if I never don't.
All right. Again, we are staring at is this through an archway that we see the construct thing? Because we're like inside the castle, or is this just sort of thinking back about what we saw?
You can probably, you're thinking backwards, or you can probably see it through a window. Like, it's big.
Okay. All right. So we're all kind of moving around the court, talking about what we might want to do, and Jack looks out again at the big giant construct thing, and again he hears that hag whispering in his mind. It disturbs him deeply, but also it's useful. So he seems a little uncomfortable as he's explaining to you guys, and he doesn't say that he's like hearing this in his head, but he will tell you what he manages to learn. And I'll spend a hero point, Chase.
All right. This thing you recognize is a very rare Demon Gate Colossus. The enigmatic and strange Radiant Wardens were constructed thousands of years ago to protect observatories and scholars against the incursion of alien aggressors from the Dominion of the Black. Over time, their roles as guardians expanded to include watching over any region where the laws of time and space have worn thin, particularly near portals and permanent gates between planets, planes, and dimensions. Named for both the radial nature of the concentric rings that make up their bodies, as well as the glowing radiance of their attacks, Radiant Wardens carry on their orders defending sites from invasion with single-minded purpose. Now, for your knowledge on this, since you only got a success, I'm going to give you 3 options. I will give you its combat special abilities, including like its weaknesses on how to damage it. I will give you how its summoning and teleportation works, or I will give you how you can try to disable it.
Oh boy. Oh, and I get to pick one.
Yep.
Let's go with how to disable it.
Okay.
Seems like
So-
maybe the most important thing. I don't know, like teleportation and stuff is gonna be bad. I think we just file that away under it's gonna be bad, whatever it is.
You recognize that pink glow and whatever that rectangular glowing was in the center as its core. Every one of these has a core. That leathery bulb that protected the core is to keep it safe. So now that it is activated, it does not need its core exposed to keep doing things. But if its core is ever removed, it will be disabled and it can no longer function. Now, you have to deal enough damage to get that leathery surrounding to go away. And then you can try to remove the core, but removing the core has a lashback effect that is going to severely damage whoever's trying to disable it. But it is generally a lot quicker than trying to just destroy it with physical damage.
Okay, so step 1, cut through leathery shell thing. Step 2, remove it and take a bunch of damage. Step 3, profit.
No,
Yeah.
question marks.
Step 3, question mark. Step 4, profit. Thank you, Gingham.
And it is notable that even if you're trying to remove the core with something like Mage Hand, it will put feedback to the caster.
Good to know, because I definitely...
How big does the core look? Like,
Pretty large.
okay, I assumed
Different
like a
things
little
can
mage hand.
And the core is usually powered by some sort of artifact or powerful magic item. It can be various different things.
Huh. Okay.
Now that we've got kind of an idea of what we've got around, if anybody has warfare lore, if you want some like observations of different things going on, you can roll a warfare lore.
That's
Yeah,
me.
I will roll esoteric. It's the same thing, right?
Yep.
Are you going to put on a little war commander outfit, Gingham? This is
Yeah.
important to my visual
Yes.
imagination.
Gingham now looks like a tiny general.
You just zone out for a second and then ding, Gingham.
It actually looks adjacent. It's like the Walmart brand version of Krunk's armor. That's what Gingham's got on right now.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
42. Would you like to reroll Krunk with your hero point, knowing that Gingham's got the answers?
Krunk is just going to continue to be really upset about Gingham.
So
This is a
sorry.
hypothetical. Yeah, it would have sucked still. Continue.
All right, Gingham, here is some GM tips about the assessment of what's happening here. About the Vrox.
Mhm.
The Vrox are flying directly for Harrow Court. And you know that like most of your defenses and whatnot are around this battlement. And since they can fly, they do have the potential to cause a lot of damage quite quickly to your central castle. Because they're just going to fly over the battlements. Although your paladins have bows, they are more focused in melee combat. So they could be an imminent problem. Now, the succubus who is casting the ritual, that ritual, given the knowledge you have on that demon, could be devastating to the entire economy and like landscape of Harrow Court. It could do some really nasty things if that ritual is to complete, though that ritual is going to be quite a long casting time. Mechanically, you have between 2 and 5 battle rounds before that ritual completes. Now, the desert to the north, you're not exactly sure what he's all about, but you did see him raise things out of the ground. There is a potential he could maybe continually do that and raise a small army up in the north. To the south, that looks incredibly dangerous and probably impenetrable at the moment, but you could imagine that that thing could be summoning in more armies as well, and does look potentially disastrous if it gathers enough support to march on Harrow Court.
Sorry, you said there were 3 obelisks around the construct,
Yep.
but we have not seen symbols that match the 3rd current
Correct.
yet. Okay. I'm wondering if if they're maybe on the rocks, but we haven't seen
maybe.
them. But I'm not sure.
Can I squint up at the rocks just to squint up at the rocks?
Yeah, give me a perception.
Can I try as well with my eye tattoo?
Sure.
I'm on 35.
35. So, Krunk, you want to roll?
I'd like to roll, but I didn't know if I could.
No, absolutely. Of course you can.
We're all peering out the window like this.
Unless I take Krunk's eyes away, he's always allowed.
Krunk comes over and crouches.
Oh, there it is.
The nat 20 is pretty much what you needed.
There it is. There it is.
All right. There are so many rocks that Gingham and Jack, you can't rule it out, but you can't spot any of them with a tattoo. But Krunk, you do see that there is one of the rocks just happened to catch a glint at the right time that seems to have glowing runes down its arm.
There we go.
Okay.
Ding.
All right. And now it's decision time with all of your information overload. You guys have 3 units of paladins. Where are you sending them and what are you doing?
One last question. Do we know the other ways we could lose defense points, or is that a fun surprise that we will get to find out?
Let's see. What did you get with your warfare lore, Gingham?
Pretty high, 42.
42. That is a crit success. So I will tell you one of the additional ways that's going to be quite common to potentially lose points is if any of you, as the generals of Harrow Court, are dropped to 0 hit points, it will cause a morale hit to your troops, and you will lose a defense point every time one of you is dropped to 0 hit points.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Cool. Okay.
If one of you is killed, you will lose half of your remaining defense points.
Okay.
All right.
That's not going to happen, though. It's fine.
So, to recap, the rocks look like they're going to fuck everything up immediately. The succubus is taking their time on a ritual. And the desert might just be never-ending armies. And the construct looks impenetrable at the moment. Oh, and if we die, Harrow Court gets sadder.
The building's not the only thing that's gonna get more upset if we die.
Oh,
Jack sits
Alright.
down.
Jack, what's going on?
What isn't going on? What do you mean? We're doomed.
I know that it looks that way, but Desna put us here for a reason. Put this group together. We'll do what we can to stay safe and take it on one problem at a time, just as we always do.
Shadow will come over and put a hand on your shoulder. I thought I was doomed.
Yeah. Okay, great. It's all gonna be fine. You're totally right. As always, we are gonna solve every problem. Just tell me what you want me to do.
Starters, I hope that you understand that I'm not just blindly assuming that everything's going to be fine.
No, I get it. You saw your butterflies. You're good to go. We're good. This is gonna go great.
Jack, I'm having hope that things are going to be fine. We don't have another option right now. And so I'm just trying to face it as best as I can. I will do everything in my power to get you out of this situation alive. I swear that to you.
Jack looks sullen, and he looks away from Krunk, kind of off away from everyone. He just says, just tell me what you want me to do.
There's a pause. Krunk gives a single nod and stands up and turns away from Jack. All right, Gingham, let us make a plan.
Gingham glances at Jack for a minute and back to Krunk. What if we send the paladins through to the armies that keep getting summoned?
All 3.
Maybe 2, and then we'll send the third one somewhere.
Why don't we send 2 to deal with the armies, and 1 comes with us to deal with the Frocks? It seems like our most immediate problem.
I like that
What do you
plan.
think's going on with these obelisks and things?
It seems like they match quite a few things. You said you saw a Vrock with the tattoo on it?
The runes on its arms match that obelisk.
Should we aim for that Vrock then? And maybe we try to aim for those who have the tattoos? We can send the paladins after the one with the runes to take that down first.
Yes, and we will be moving with the Vrocks.
Aye.
I think the succubus is not our strong priority now, but we keep an eye on that situation.
Oh,
Let's
aye.
try and take care of as many of the stragglers as possible before that fucking thing gets here. Glances over at the huge Mongo construct.
Gingham nods. That seems like the smart way. We'll check in after the first wave.
You have an idea of how to make that thing penetrable. We just hit it a bunch and then we'll be able to reach inside?
I assume it has something to do with those freaking obelisks.
Probably,
Break
Jack.
down the obelisks, then we'll be able to get in. All right.
Jack says
assuming we'll
this
need
like
to-
a moody teenager who's like still refusing to participate, but is like shouting
Gingham's
things.
like the encouraging mom. That's it. Yeah, give us.
Krunk's largely ignoring the situation and letting Jack process the way Jack needs to process. All right. Let's do this.
As you say that, Krunk, you guys hear some sword clattering and some armor clanking and some hissing just down the hallway from the courtyard. And you hear a feminine voice say, "Back off of me. I'm here to help." And you hear just lots of like paladins clankering, and you hear that same voice yelp with pain.
Wait,
Gingham's-
is that the snake whore? And I go charging out. Is that Willem's bitch?
You turn the corner to see a bunch of paladins with spears and swords pointed up, surrounding this woman right here, not Willem's familiar.
Oh,
But
my apologies, ma'am.
But a snake woman nonetheless. Not far off.
Go ahead and roll me a perception, Krunk, as you turn that corner.
I would love to.
See if you this woman looks familiar.
Ugh, my low rolls, 28.
28 is enough to recall. Now it takes you just a minute, but then you recognize this woman. You've seen her before, but as a corpse, at least the upper half of her body. When you guys were beginning your adventure to this campaign at a game store called 3 Moves Ahead, you saw a very bloodied corpse in the middle of some sort of ritual in the game store. This was that woman, though she was not a serpent when she was dead there.
Wait, I know you. But when I knew you, you were dead.
Did you command these ones? Call
Yes,
them
stand
off.
down, stand down.
The paladins go to like very proper military stances and they back off, though they do keep her kind of surrounded. We recognize you. There's 2 more?
Gingham's
Correct.
gonna run out and run into Krunk's leg at that. Oh,
Dong.
Jack comes marching lazily in a few moments later.
She looks at all of you very intensely as if she's looking you up and down, trying to appraise you all.
Are you a face stealer?
She shakes her head, and then she does a very low bow. Greetings, mighty ones. I've come from beyond, drawn to this place like a moth from the proverbial flame. But I could see others approaching as well. A vast pack of wolves is on the approach. Fire in their eyes, death in their jaws. Among them, a sleek wolf with golden fur exhales pestilence. An enormous lumbering wolf leads a howling horde, and winged wolves come leaping down from the skies. A giant wolf with gray fur and scales lunges for all of your throats. In a glowing doorway behind them stands their leader. He seeks to crush you, all three of you, and be reborn from your ruin. Even now they gather at the world's edge, this world's edge. The grim nightmare breaks at dawning, but others have noticed as well. A four-armed herald watches. They bear cards in three hands, an offer of friendship to the fourth. The door they open leads to warmth and plenty, like an ocean breeze. But there too, I hear a gathered host roaring in victory. Allies, I think. Friends that we'll need, but they will not arrive until after the wolves invade. Please, I am here to help you. My fate is tied to yours.
Well, that seems familiar.
My fate is bright. My fate is tied.
Oh, I
Jack
said that.
walks out of the room when he hears that and just heads back toward the archways.
Okay, so what did I say before? My fate is good. My fate is right.
My fate is strong. My fate is tied. You guys both said that.
I said strong. Okay.
Strong and tied.
My fate is strong. My fate is tied. And watch her for a reaction.
She nods.
Well, we are happy to accept help in this dire time of need. Tell me, what are your qualifications and how can we best use you?
I don't know how I return. When I left this world, or another world, it was not in this form. But either way, I believe I am called Hajek. Hajek the All-Seeing? I believe
Hajek
I was
the-
called.
Can I do like a knowledge on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, society.
30.
30. You do remember the name Hajek as being the owner of Three Moves Ahead, though you never heard her called the All-Seeing. She was just a pretty proficient Harrow trader. And that goes same for you, Gingham. I am proficient in the Harrow. And destiny?
Then tell us, how is the best way to go about handling these wolves? Which wolf should die first?
I do not know. I believe that I am sent here to aid you in this destiny war. I can protect you the best I can. I can increase the power of your Harrow. I believe I can twist your fate in small ways. I will do what I can, though I don't know how to fight a war.
Me either.
Great. Well,
Call off your paladins and let me join you?
I wave off the paladins.
Can I wait before I just?
Oh, sense motive.
Yeah, can I?
One
the
sense motive would be good.
I'm gonna.
Sure.
I'm gonna sense the motive.
Nope, game over. We lost all our defense points. The end.
33 and 30.
She seems earnest.
All right.
Yeah, I'll call him off. We'll take all the help we can get, even if I'm not still certain on how best for us to work together. Please speak up if you see something.
I will. And then she'll, the paladins that you dismiss go rushing out to get in defensive formations, and she will follow you. Now, as long as Hajek is in your presence, you all have a passive bonus where you can invest a 6th Harrow card if you desire.
Yes.
Sick. I'm probably going to get one from each of these benches. I think Krunk draws his sword, tests its edge on his thumb, takes a deep breath, and looks down at Gingham. Think we'll make it through this one?
Well, we can certainly try, can't we? Gingham will pull out their axe.
All right. Time to survive.
So are you
Okay.
guys marching toward the battlements or wherever we're going to do this thing?
I just remembered I have a boomerang, and that's what I should have pulled out, not an hatchet.
Why not
Okay,
both?
you can swap.
Dual wield.
Weird. Oh.
Jack is trailing along behind you guys, still not really saying anything. Krunk, when we get there, I have a thing that I can do to help. I can make you fly. I don't really want to talk about how I know how to do that, but I do.
Incredible. I took a fly spell myself, actually. I don't have it prepared right now, unfortunately.
Oh, well, I'd rather have you up in the sky with all of those.
As you wish.
Okay, so you guys head out of Harrow Court to the main battlement area, right? Which is, you guys have kind of like a little city area just outside of your castle. So as you guys approach out here now, on the battle maps, your paladins are giving you some hidden perks. They're making the encounters easier. You left one unit here?
Yeah,
you guys?
Correct.
One unit with
you-
us.
One unit with you, and where did the other two go?
To the demon pit
The desert.
army, the desert.
Okay, 2 to the desert army to deal with that. Okay, excellent. So with this, basically, you're going to have less rocks to deal with. We're not putting the paladins on the map. They don't act in initiative. We're just assuming that around you guys, there are paladins shooting down rocks, fighting rocks. So we are playing out your portion of the encounter, which is you guys dealing with yours. So I have you guys on the battle map over here. And you guys are going to draw the attention of a very large unit of about a couple hundred rocks. The tattooed general included in this group. So as you guys approach, we will roll initiative.
As we roll initiative, could I cast fly on Krunk, like as we're like, okay, it's time now?
For sure.
Okay.
As you guys are running up, Hajek is going to take out 2 decks of Harrow cards, and she's gonna magically float them in like swirling rings above her hands. She's gonna gesture one towards Krunk, and a bunch of cards are just gonna flitter around your body, Krunk. This is gonna give you a one-time effect. If an enemy crits on you, it's going to treat it as a success instead. And then Jack, she's gonna gesture one towards you, and it's gonna make it so if you critically fail, you get to re-roll.
Oh, snap. That's
Nice.
awesome.
I have
I'll
haste. Do you want? I could cast it.
I prefer haste.
Okay,
For sure.
Gingham's casting haste.
Now, as you guys are casting your spells and as you guys are heading towards the fight, as the paladins see the generals joining the fight, the trumpeting paladins are going to blast their horns, and it's just very inspiring. This is going to give all of you guys 20 temporary hit points to start this fight, and +2 to your initiative rolls.
That's a 40 for Jack.
Nice.
Woo, look at that.
Oh, I'll battle cry. You know, actually, I'm not. Jack is not. He's not here right now. So
Jack's
no
not
battle
here
cry.
right now.
No battle cry from Jack.
I like
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. Jack can't come to the phone right now.
Oh,
Why? Because he's dead.
I guess it's worth mentioning, this is not a gigantic rock. This is a troop. So this
Oh,
is
so
another
no
troop,
single target
vulnerable
stuff
to area
anyway.
damage, a lot of dancing. So they're going to work a little different than the other rocks, but same creatures compiling just a big swarm of them.
Is it possible to target the general though, like the
One with the
individual general?
runes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. And then, I need a roll for Shadow. Let's see what his initiative is.
Oh,
Oh,
motherfucker.
he's quick all on his own.
Shadow came to play.
Nat 20 initiative for Shadow.
He's like, I've been mouthless long enough. I am ready
Ah!
to wreck some fools.
All right. So as you guys approach, it is just absolute chaos. There is lightning striking everywhere, Vrox dancing, paladins dying, Vrox dropping from the sky. It is a big chaotic battle. And as the trumpets sound, we'll cut there for tonight, and we'll begin in some actual combat next time.
Oh, okay.
Yes.